The night was a thick curtain around me as I drove down the desolate highway. Raindrops raced each other on the windshield, and the feeble glow of my headlights struggled against the impenetrable darkness. My fingers clutched the steering wheel, anxiety gnawing at my insides. The gas gauge hovered just above empty, and the prospect of finding a gas station seemed unlikely on this deserted stretch of road. My knuckles turned white as I scanned the desolation for any signs of life. Relief washed over me as a flickering neon sign emerged in the distance, promising a gas station oasis. The rain seemed to ease as I pulled into the dimly lit lot. The air was heavy with an eerie silence that made my footsteps sound like echoes. The gas station was a relic of the past, its rusted pumps standing like sentinels in the night. I hesitated but decided to fill up quickly and get back on the road. As the gas pumped, I glanced around, the dim light casting long shadows that danced ominously. A sense of foreboding settled over me as I approached the convenience store. The creaking door opened with a reluctant groan, revealing a dim interior frozen in time. Shelves were lined with dusty products, their expiration dates long faded into obscurity. The cashier's counter was vacant, a flickering light above casting an erratic dance of shadows. I rang the bell, its echoes bouncing through the empty store. No response. The air felt dense, suffocating. A low hum reverberated through the silence, sending a chill down my spine. The lights flickered, casting a spectral glow on the aisles. As I turned to leave, the door slammed shut with an unseen force, trapping me inside the suffocating stillness. Panic gripped me as I rushed to the door, but it resisted every attempt to open. The hum intensified, morphing into an otherworldly whisper that slithered through the aisles. Shadows danced like malevolent spirits as the temperature dropped. The flickering light above the cashier's counter cast an eerie glow on the counter. On it, I saw an old, weathered journal. Curiosity battled fear as I opened it, revealing pages filled with incomprehensible symbols and cryptic drawings. The hum seemed to emanate from the journal, resonating with a supernatural energy. The whispers grew louder, a chorus of voices that spoke of forgotten sins and ancient curses. The symbols on the pages seemed to move, twisting and contorting in unnatural ways. A nameless dread settled over me, the realization that I had stepped into something beyond my understanding. As I turned another page, the lights extinguished, plunging me into total darkness. The hum became a guttural growl, reverberating through the store. Fear clenched my chest, every breath feeling like a struggle. A feeble glow emerged from the journal, revealing a spectral figure standing at the end of the aisle. Its eyes gleamed with an otherworldly malevolence as it beckoned me closer. The whispers reached a deafening crescendo, an unintelligible cacophony that threatened to unravel my sanity. In the dim light, I saw the aisles stretch endlessly, their shelves filled with spectral products that seemed to mock the reality I once knew. The figure pointed to an exit sign that loomed in the distance, its flickering light a distant beacon. I stumbled through the aisles, the spectral figure trailing behind. The exit sign seemed to retreat with every step, the store morphing into a labyrinth of nightmares. Shadows twisted and contorted, and the whispers became tangible, a force that clawed at my mind. With every passing moment, the exit seemed further away. Desperation fueled my steps as I raced through the aisles, the spectral figure closing in. The whispers reached a fevered pitch, a cacophony that threatened to consume me whole. As I approached the exit, the door swung open with a force that sent me sprawling onto the pavement. The spectral figure vanished, leaving me alone in the night. The gas station, once a beacon, now stood like a haunted memory. I sprinted to my car, the engine roaring to life as if guided by unseen hands. The gas station dwindled in the rearview mirror, its spectral aisles and whispers fading into the distance. The road stretched ahead, a path back to reality. The rain had ceased, and the night, though still, felt less oppressive. I drove into the darkness, the echoes of the haunted gas station lingering like a ghostly imprint on my mind. The highway became my refuge, each mile putting distance between me and the inexplicable horrors of that forsaken place. The night pressed against the windshield as I navigated the winding road. Rain lashed against the car, creating an eerie symphony of drumming on the roof. The only companions in this desolate stretch were the fading beams of my headlights. My fuel gauge hovered dangerously close to empty, and the signs for the next gas station were as elusive as the moon behind storm clouds. Anxiety coiled in my chest as the darkness seemed to swallow the road whole. Desperation guided my decision to take a narrow, unpaved path that appeared abruptly. The trees, like silent sentinels, stood on either side, whispering secrets that the wind carried away. The gravel crunched beneath my tires as the forest enveloped me in an oppressive gloom. A peculiar stillness settled in the air as the path meandered deeper into the woods. Anxiety twisted into a gnawing fear that clung to me like a shadow. The dense canopy above blocked the moonlight, plunging the surroundings into an impenetrable darkness. Then, a flicker of light ahead. A solitary gas station emerged like a mirage. Relief washed over me as I pulled in, the headlights revealing a dilapidated building with a flickering neon sign that spelled "Last Stop." Reluctantly, I stepped out into the night. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, broken only by the distant hum of electricity. The station, frozen in time, felt like a forgotten relic. I hesitated, the rusty door groaning as I pushed it open. Inside, the air smelled of dampness and decay. Shelves were lined with products whose labels had long faded into obscurity. An ancient cash register sat on the counter, as if waiting for a transaction that would never come. A bell jingled as I entered, but there was no attendant in sight. I approached the counter, a sense of foreboding settling in the pit of my stomach. The flickering neon sign outside cast an erratic dance of shadows that seemed to writhe with a life of their own. The shelves rattled, and the lights flickered as a low murmur echoed through the empty station. Panic gripped me, and I turned to leave, only to find the door sealed shut. The air grew colder, and a whisper slithered through the darkness, a nameless voice speaking in a language that felt both ancient and malevolent. A figure materialized from the shadows, draped in a tattered cloak that seemed to meld with the darkness. Their face remained hidden beneath the hood as they extended a skeletal hand toward me. The murmur intensified, sending shivers down my spine. "Payment!" the figure rasped, their voice echoing through the desolate station. Without understanding, I reached into my pocket and handed over my car keys. The figure's skeletal fingers closed around them, and the lights flickered once more. The door creaked open, revealing the path back into the woods. I stumbled into the night, the path now more ominous than before. The whispers grew louder, a chorus of voices that seemed to speak of forgotten sins and ancient curses. My footsteps quickened, the gravel crunching beneath me as the darkness closed in. The trees leaned closer, their branches forming grotesque silhouettes that twisted and contorted. The path seemed to elongate, each step propelling me further into an endless abyss. I glanced back, but the last stop gas station had vanished, leaving no trace of its eerie presence. My surroundings morphed into a nightmarish labyrinth, the trees whispering malevolent secrets that clawed at my sanity. The shadows danced, and the air became thick with an otherworldly malevolence. A distant glow revealed the headlights of my car, parked in the middle of the path as if waiting to lure me into the abyss. Dread anchored me as I approached the car. The headlights flickered in rhythmic pulses, casting ghastly shapes on the trees. The voices crescendo, a cacophony of tortured souls that echoed through the night. The car door creaked open, and the interior was shrouded in darkness. Reluctantly, I climbed in, the engine roaring to life as if guided by an unseen force. The path stretched ahead, an endless corridor of nightmares. As the car accelerated into the abyss, the forest whispered its secrets, a symphony of lost souls and forgotten horrors. The darkness swallowed me whole, and the path became an eternal road to nowhere, a haunted journey with no escape.